God bless you all. I just release the light of truth, of the living letters, of the living words to all that are listening. And just Holy Spirit, let the impartation of the building blocks of all creation that we are, that we abide in, let it be known to all hearts. And today we will look at, there will be a series on night visions and how God speaks through night visions, through dreams. First of all, we have, during the dream state, it's a deep healing rest of Holy Spirit. It's a deep heart healing rest. It's not just for our bodies to reset and to heal, but it's also for our hearts to draw deep into the wells of life and just bring about change, bring about gifts, birth the truth, birth the healing. And the indicator of these deep flowing rivers of Holy Spirit of rest, it's all resting in Holy Spirit when we sleep, when we're awake, because our brain waves are the indicator. Brain waves point to these currents, rivers of Holy Spirit that sustain us, this consciousness, this voice of God, consciousness of Christ, voice, living water of Holy Spirit that flows through us, that sustains us, that flows as us. And when we sleep, we enter this deep sea of Holy Spirit. These waves, slow waves of our mind. Our mind rests in the heart. Our heart is awake always, but our mind rests deeply in the sea of Holy Spirit, in the currents of rest of Holy Spirit, in that healing, restful state. We can enter same thing during deep meditation. That feels like we are asleep, but we just enter this different awareness of the deep places of the currents of Holy Spirit, where treasures lie, where healing rests. In that place, Holy Spirit then instructs the heart. Holy Spirit then brings from subconsciousness anything that needs to be done away with. Everything is brought to light and healed in the light of truth. Everything is surrendered into the light, because we are light. And as it is brought into the light, Holy Spirit shows the patterns that are to be done away with, because they are not part of our already full design. And always there is a redemptive conclusion, an interpretation that is always restorative and points to this hope of glory, of life, of growth, a solution, a wisdom, an understanding, a knowledge, a knowing of the heart that propels us into greater light. Everything that Holy Spirit reveals in dreams is highly, highly, highly symbolic. Everything has a symbolic meaning that points to certain aspect of our lives that is growing, that we are growing within. People usually represent a certain mindset, a certain thought process, a certain reality, a certain mindset or a certain thought. And so, based on that, we can see whether it is something that Holy Spirit is bringing to be done away with, that we no longer need to entertain, or is it something life-giving that we are entering into, that springs from within. If there are people in the dream that don't make you feel that your emotional state is not right around them, then it points to something that needs to be done away with, that needs to be completely brought into light and replaced with proper, true perspective of Holy Spirit, true narrative of Holy Spirit, that then brings healing and forgiveness and rest to our souls. And if there is some people that encourage us in the dreams, that guide us, this points to the true narrative of Holy Spirit, this guidance of Holy Spirit, guidance of wisdom, guidance of understanding, that leads us on the path of life. There is also a mindset shift that happens with these encounters with people in dreams, where Holy Spirit rewires how we see certain situations. I will share certain symbolisms that I came across often, and that Holy Spirit enlightened me what they represent, because it is highly symbolic. The people that you see in dreams, sometimes they only represent a certain concept if they are generalized, as in, for example, cops or certain figures of the state. But it also carries a personal note, how you personally view them. And that way, Holy Spirit will use them in the dreams to illustrate a certain point. And then you have figures that you know, only you know, people that only you personally know, and they have a personal personal meaning, personal aspect that they represent to you. If it is something to do with your immediate family, it could point to a certain thing being resolved in your family line that they then directly influences your freedom onward. And it is all an invitation to sit with Holy Spirit and get the full meaning, full interpretation. Then in the dreams I found, if I see buildings, they represent structures, narratives, structures of thought, a certain reality, a certain state of being that I am residing in. And I can always exit and enter the correct building, the building that is established by Holy Spirit. And it is important to pay attention to the details as well that Holy Spirit highlights as you are in the building, and you can then more easily discern what she is imparting. I'm only sharing what I discovered, but still I encourage everyone to just ask Holy Spirit for the meaning of things that you see in dreams, because it might be completely specific and personal to your own journey. Then, whenever I saw a car and me driving, me sitting in a car, it always represented my current thought process. Because whenever I or someone else that I was hearing their dreams, we were sitting at the back of the car, and in the front were two people, one driving and one sitting in the shotgun. I saw it as being the driver, the male, and the next was the female. And it represents these two parts of our mind, the feminine, the masculine aspect of our mind, the logical, the more creative, the womb of life, working together, and me being the awareness, the I am presence, sitting in the back, observing where we are going. So whenever I see or someone else sees a car and being driven in it, it represents a thought pattern. And it is good to pay attention what happens as we drive, what occurs, how God is showing a current narrative that we are living in, and a redemptive change, a redemptive growth that we are part of, that we are walking in. Also, whenever I saw a huge tower with windows, whenever there are windows, it represents a fresh new perspective, clarity of thought, clarity of sight. A forest, as far as I know, represents a place of rest, of communion, a deep nourishment, nurturing and caring of our being, of our heart, of our mind, of our soul, a place where we get nourishment, a place where we get nurturing, and where we can rest and be still. Forests are full of oxygen, and that's where we go when we need to replenish our being. And in the dreams, that means being able to breathe in the pure, fresh breath of life. Then if I saw highways, depending on the context, it usually meant a fast track on the path of life. Something that opened a way. And just as I mentioned before, if you see a television or a certain mode of communication like that, it can also mean a certain narrative that you're listening to. Those are just a few meanings that I shared, but as you can see, it is highly symbolic and highly personal as well. But there are certain structures that can mean, certain pictures that can mean the same thing, like universal meaning. It's more about seeing the people that is more personal, as they mean something completely specific to you, to your own life. But inanimate objects like buildings, like cars, they usually have the same symbolic meaning. But it can also vary. On top of that, it can also vary how you view them personally, whether you have a good impression of them or not. That can also influence how you see them, how Holy Spirit will place them in your dreams, in your night visions. Then there is the fact that sometimes in the dreams, Holy Spirit will show you how you can function as a son of God, what is possible for you to release, and how to walk in that. You will see yourself performing miracles, praying for people, Sometimes it will be a direct encounter where you actually go somewhere and really do that. And you will know that. You will know within. But sometimes it will be also a showing of how you are functioning. What is within you bursting forth, to be birthed, to be walked in. You will notice how you walk in that flow of life. You will notice the gift that you are and how powerful your expression of your being is in the light of truth. You will know who you are as Holy Spirit reveals through encounters, through dreams and through actual encounters of ministering to others. You will be able to pick up the mindset behind that state of being and the state of actual emotional state that you are in at that time. I remember Holy Spirit showing me how powerful my voice in oneness with her voice is. It's a mighty current of light, living words that unlock hearts and impart life and healing. It is a free flow, a complete abandonment to the flow of life, complete assurance and deep knowing of that value that I am and that I carry. I encourage you to sit with Holy Spirit and let her bring to mind any dreams that you had that she gave you, that you were walking in together, and to see it very symbolically. More according to the function of certain things instead of just the form. And then let her show you the interpretation. What is the message? And a profound healing will take place. Profound deconstruction and reconstruction happens through interpretation. Deconstruction is when we sit with Holy Spirit and just dissect, just process what happened in the dream and see the true meaning of all that happened, what everything represents. And in that light, it is either done away with or it is a building block, a living word that then builds us. And it is also a way for Holy Spirit's restorative flow over eclipsing perspective to be established, reconstructed from the interpretation. That then strengthens our resolve in our growth journey as sons of God, and equip us, empower us, give us rest in the present moment, because we know all is resolved, all past or future. And it's this moment of beautiful abiding presence of health, of well-being, of tranquility that we are abiding in right now. If you don't remember the whole dream, it's okay. Sometimes I would just bring all that I remember, or just knowing that I had a dream, bring it to Holy Spirit and just listen to the interpretation that she's saying, just the message that I need to hear, even though I don't really know the contents of the dream consciously. So I just receive the message that I need to hear in the morning being the warmth of the day, where things are established, where things are birthed, where things are set for the day, where the tone is set for the day, where we are nourished, nurtured, established anew, when we receive the manna from heaven, the word that we need to hear. I pray this has been a blessing. It's been a short message on night visions. Be blessed, everyone, and have a beautiful, beautiful, restful dreaming with Holy Spirit.